In our terminal, we'll start up our Strapi application by typing npx create Strapi app. We'll name our application API and use the quick start flag to set up our Strapi application with a SQLite database. Click yes. When the setup is done, we get a browser tab to create our first admin user. I'll type my first name as Daniel, last name as Piri, add an email address, a password, confirm my password, and then click let's get started. We'll say I'm a front-end developer and finish. We get a project has been successfully created. And that is how you create a Strapi application and set up your first admin user. Inside the Strapi dashboard, we'll go to our content type builder plugin. We'll use our content types builder plugin to create a collection type. A collection type is a collection of related fields. We'll click create new collection type and we'll name our collection type post. To represent the posts on the blog that we'll build, click continue and we'll start out with a text field called title. We'll add another field, this time a date field, and call this date. We'll choose the format date. We'll add a rich text field and name this body so we can type in markdown. We'll add another text field and call this author. And then we'll add a UID for our slug. And we'll attach this field to our title field so that it's auto-generated whenever we fill that in. And click finish. We'll save our collection type and wait for our server to restart. Now that our server has restarted, we'll go to our content manager to add data to our collection type. Click post and then create new entry. As a title, we'll add exactly what you need. We'll pick the date of 9th August. We'll add a body with markdown and then create an author called Humpty Dumpty. And then we'll regenerate our slug, exactly what you need. Perfect. We'll save this and then publish. We'll go to our collection type again and duplicate this. We'll change exactly what you need to maybe exactly what you need. We'll keep this the same and say duplicate item at the top and then give this a title. And then regenerate our slug, save this and publish. And we go back to our post collection type. We have 2 published entries. And that is how you create a collection type in Strapi and add data to it. We want to make requests to our Strapi API to get the posts entries that we just put into Strapi. To do that, we'll go to our settings. We'll click roles under user and permissions plugin and select the public role. We'll select our post collection type and give ourselves access to find one operations, which make get requests to our API, find operations, and then we'll save. We'll open VS Code and click our Thunder client extension. Click new request. We'll get rid of that. And now we'll make a get request to http localhost 1337/API/posts. We get exactly what you need, our entries that we put into the Strapi content manager. We'll go back to our Strapi application and update our settings. We'll revoke our access to find and find one and save. When we try and make a new query in Thunder Client, we get a 403 forbidden error because we revoked access to the API. In our Strapi admin, we also have the ability to use API tokens. We'll create a new API token and call this getPostsData and make this full access. We'll save our data and copy our token. We'll go back into our Thunder client to make an authenticated request with our new token. We'll go to auth and select bearer and paste in our bearer token. When we make our request, we get back the data that we want. And that is how you set up permissions to make queries to your Strapi API. Strapi also lets us query our content using a GraphQL API. In our marketplace, we'll search for our GraphQL plugin, which, as the description says, adds GraphQL endpoints with default API methods. We'll copy the install command and open our terminal. We'll stop our server and paste our command and run it. Once our install is done, we'll type npm run develop to restart our Strapi server. Now that our server is up and running, we go to localhost 1337/GraphQL, which takes us to our GraphQL playground. In our playground, we can type queries and access the data inside Strapi. And so we'll do just that. We'll access our posts, and inside our posts, we want to get our data, our attributes, our author, our date, our slug, and our body, as well as our title, of course. And then we send our request. We get forbidden access because we revoked all access to our API. And so we'll go back to our Strapi admin, settings, click roles, public, and then grant ourselves permission to make find and find one queries. Save that and then go back to our playground. And now our request should go in. We get Humpty Dumpty and Humpty Dumpty. And that is how you query data from Strapi's GraphQL API.